everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today. If you're new, I'm Amanda. Welcome to the channel where we are all about shattering the mental health stigma. If you haven't already, make sure you make sweet, sweet love to that subscribe button so you're not missing any of these reactions, any of my vlogs about my mental health journey, or any of my celebrity interviews about their mental health journeys. Today's reaction was a request from one of my Patreons who requested to stay anonymous, but I love you all the same. Thank you so much for your support in allowing me to spread the awareness about mental health. If you haven't had a chance to check out my Patreon, make sure you do so. I will link it in the description below so you can see what I'm up to with my mental health outreach, get priority song requests, jump on live streams with me, get personalized pictures, and so much more. And every single dime goes toward my mental health outreach. But today I'm going to be reacting to Judas by Fozzy. I've never listened to the band, though they have been on my radar for quite some time because I was a huge wrestling fan in the early 90s. I remember the lead singer Chris Jericho, when he was back in WCW, when he was wrestling, had long pretty hair that I was so jealous of growing up. I loved his hair. I loved him even when he turned heel. I loved Jericho. So I really have been meaning to check them out for a while, and I guess life just got away with me. So thank you for bringing them back on my radar. I am excited to dive in and see what this is all about and see a different side of Chris Jericho. So let's go.
You are beautiful on the inside. You are innocence personified. And I will drag you down and sell you out. Run away.
Oh, that breaks my heart. I know what that feels like when there's someone in your life that's just so beautiful and innocent, and you are deathly afraid that you're going to break them, deathly afraid that you're going to destroy them. I have this narrative in me that I've been struggling, especially recently, to break, that I destroy things, I poison people, and I don't know how to stop. So I push people away because I don't want to hurt them, because I have the messiah complex of wanting to help people and heal people and guide people on their journeys and help them with their mental health and stuff. So to know that I can so deeply hurt someone without any intention of doing so because of my battles and my struggles, that hurts. But holy cow, I was not expecting that. I don't know what I was expecting, but his voice is just breathtaking. I think I'm gonna fall in love with this band. I think I might develop a crush on Chris Jericho. Fantastic. But just the power and the energy, but at the same time, just it almost seems, and I know this is kind of weird, but his voice sounds kind of romantic in a weird way, but at the same time, powerful. And I don't know how else to describe it, but I am blown away 37 seconds in, so I'm excited to keep going here.
I am cold like December snow. I have carved out this soul made of stone, and I will drag you down and sell you out. Embraced by the darkness, I'm losing the light. Encircled by demons, I fight.
You constantly feel like you're fighting these inner demons, these shadows, whatever you want to call it. It is a constant fight, and I felt like I was being consumed by darkness and that I was just falling and I couldn't find light anywhere in my life. No matter what I tried, therapy, I tried medication, I tried reading the books, I just felt like I was in this all-consuming darkness that I could not get out of. And it's actually a little poetic because one of the people that really helped me in the beginning of my journey, they told me that dad advice that I needed to hear was Diamond Dallas Page. So it's a little bit poetic, given the journey and given the fact that he's also a big wrestler that I grew up on and loved, and we now have a very close connection and bond. But it's just it hurts so bad when you don't know what to do and you're just drowning in that darkness and you're just trying so hard to find light. But I realized that if you can see your shadows, that means you still have light in you because shadows can't exist without light. You just have to find a way to make the flame bigger.
What have I become now that I've betrayed everyone I've ever loved? I pushed them all away, and I have been a slave to the Judas in my mind. Is there something left for me to save in the wreckage of my life? My life, I've become.
There was a time when I thought my whole life was just a lost cause, this complete wreck, and I pushed out everyone I loved when I was in active addiction, or when I get in cycles of really bad depression. When I was at the lowest of my depression, I pushed everyone out because I didn't want to hurt them. And I did. I did hurt them. I hurt my son. I hurt my friends. I hurt my partner. And now, going through a divorce, I'm sitting there going, I hurt him. I hurt someone that I cared about. I hurt my little boy. And I didn't mean to. I really didn't mean to. But I'm on an emotional roller coaster. Thank you for holding space with me these days. Things are just a little heavy with everything going on. I'm fine. I'm still finding joy. I'm safe, but my cravings have been really high lately, in the last couple weeks. So just thinking about that time in my life when I was in active cocaine addiction, and I would have done anything. And Judas has become synonymous with betrayal, treachery, as he betrayed Christ. So not only do we betray ourselves and who we really are, but we betray those who love us and who are close to us in ways that we wouldn't even imagine, in ways that we often don't mean to. Addiction, mental health, it becomes a matter of survival, and that's where we were. It was just a matter of survival. And I don't mean to hurt people or break things or destroy things, but unfortunately, when you get into that world, it happens. Guilt is the heaviest cross you can bear because somewhere deep inside we know what we're doing and we know that it's hurting us, we know that it's hurting other people. And I went through that cycle all the time where I would use and maybe I'd lash out at somebody, whatever the case was. There was never a time where I used and didn't feel guilty afterwards, but like I said, at the time it was a matter of survival in my mind. That's what I convinced myself, is that I needed it. And it became this matter of survival, and there was blood on the path. There were all of these casualties of these people that I had betrayed, that I'd let down, that I'd hurt, just to get by, just to get a fix, just to function. And living with that is one of the hardest things in the world. Living with the guilt at the time, right after you've used, in the coming down period, living with the guilt. 3 years later, it's hard. It's really, really hard. And it does feel like there's a point where every single step you take is just excruciating. It destroys you, it kills you, and it feels like you're wearing this iron suit because everything's so heavy, and you want to find the way out, but you're in this iron suit and you're in a hole and you can't climb out of it because the suit is weighing you down and you just don't see a way.
What have I become now that I've betrayed
holy crap, that was not what I was expecting from Chris Jericho. I remember, you know, the walls of Jericho and his long, pretty, gorgeous blonde hair that I was so jealous of as a kid. But just everything about the song, from the lyrics to his powerful vocals to the drums to the visuals, I was just jiving with it. I honestly can't wait to check out more of Fozzy because I just think that it was exactly what I needed. I needed to process some emotions. I've really been struggling with just a lot of different thoughts, and I've just been taking time to sit and allow them all to come. So, again, thank you for holding space. I still do have a lot of guilt from that time in my life that I have been working on, and it does still play out. You know, it's not that we do these things and we say we're sorry and they go away. There's still consequences, and there's still loss, and there's still pain associated with that. And I know what it's like to feel like there's your life is just a wreck and it's in ruins, and there's absolutely no coming back from it. There's always coming back from it. I've seen stories of people that were way further down than I was that came back from it. But we don't really know for sure why Judas betrayed Jesus. I mean, it depends on whether you read Matthew, Luke, John. There's different ideas, whether he's possessed, or the most common is that he did it for money. He did it for the silver. That is, I guess, the most commonly accepted idea, and it's selfish. You know, like he betrayed someone that trusted him for selfish reasons. But I understand what it's like to be in a position where you're not consciously being malicious, you're just in survival mode and you're doing whatever you have to do to survive. But that narrative that I just poison everyone, and that I have betrayed myself in many ways in my life, I've betrayed the people I love the most. And I want to take that next step. I hope I'm taking that next step. I hope that I'm getting out of that, you know, and now moving forward with the awareness of it. And that's really the first step there, is having awareness that you're doing it, and then going from there. Because some people, when you're far enough down addiction, you don't have the awareness. I knew what I was doing, and I just couldn't stop. And that sounds crazy to anyone who's never been in that position. But even with depression, there were times where I didn't want to yell. I didn't want to lose control. I didn't want to dysregulate emotionally, but my shadow just took over, and I had no idea how to get control of that bus again, and it was brutal. But yeah, I'm really grateful that I got brought back around to Fozzy. Like I said, I've been meaning to check them out for years and didn't. Thank you again for reminding me, for this gentle reminder. And it helps me feel close to my dad. Having anything whatsoever to do with wrestling, seeing Chris Jericho's face, going back to that nostalgia, back to my youth when I bonded with my dad over WCW, over wrestling, was just really, that in of itself is really special. But getting to process these emotions with you guys, getting to share my shock and excitement, because let's be honest, a lot of times when someone is known for one thing, like Chris is known as a wrestler, and they try to do something else, let's be real, a lot of the times it doesn't really work out so well. There's a lot of actors that have tried their hand at music, there's a lot of wrestlers that have tried their hand at acting, and not everyone is amazing as Dwayne Johnson. So I am so pleasantly surprised at his power, and I kind of want to do a little more digging on his backstory at this point to see where this came from, because I know a little bit, but I feel like I'm missing something, so I would really love to connect more with that. But as always, guys, I'd love to also hear your stories here in the comments. Talking about mental health is how we shatter the stigma. So whether it's addiction, whether it's mental health, grief, loss, whatever the case is, please leave your stories here in the comments below. Help contribute to this conversation. Help me shatter the stigma. Also, like I said, if you have not already, make sweet love to that subscribe button. Click the bell so you're not missing any of these videos. Like, share, because you never know who might need to hear this message. I love you guys so much. Mwah!